Welcome to episode 16 of the Scale Model Podcast, sponsored by Goodman Models. In this podcast, we aim to entertain, inform, and promote the hobby of scale model kit building with interviews, reviews, and news about the hobby. The Scale Model Podcast is currently recorded bi-weekly and is available where your favorite podcasts are found, including iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Let us know if you have any comments or suggestions. You can email us at scalemodelpodcast@gmail.com or commenting on the website at scalemodelpodcast.com or even Facebook at facebook.com, guess what, scalemodelpodcast.com. We also publish extra video content on our YouTube channel, and there's also a Patreon page, and we'll talk about that a bit better. My name is Stuart Clark, and I'm here with Mr. Japanese Robot Builder Extraordinaire, Mr. Anthony Goodman.
Anthony Goodman. How are you?
How are you? Not bad. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
And well, we're both tired. We're recording on Monday. We've both had a busy couple of weeks.
Yeah, I sure have.
Yeah, you're in school. You're doing some learning stuff, and then
back to school.
Yeah, and of course, both of us were getting ready for Heritage Con. Really excited.
Yes.
Next Sunday, we're going to be there. So if you're there, reach out for us. I'm going to try and get some time and make. We're not going to get T-shirts yet, unlike our good friends over at On the Bench. They have T-shirts now.
Good for them. They're really on the ball.
They are. We're going to do that too. I've been thinking about it, but as usual, Dave and company beat me to it. But that's fine. I will try and get some sort of lanyards or stickers or something that you can recognize us. But you know what? If you go, people are going to see you teaching, aren't they, or demoing?
Yeah, I am going to have a demo at the FlexiFile table,
right,
from 11 to 12:30.
There you go. So if you definitely want to see us and meet us, look for us there. I'll be the goofy guy behind the camera, and Anthony will be behind the table demoing those awesome sanding blocks. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So there we go. So we're going to get right into it with lots of news. Lots of news, as always. Just when you think there's no more news. And what happens? There's more news. Okay, so a couple things from our good friends at ICM. This is, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce this. This was a German tank built in 1930, a Leash Tractor Rheinmetall. I am probably slaughtering that completely. Forgive me. This is 100% new mold. This was a light tank, and this was actually kind of an under-the-scenes thing the Germans did. So they were forbidden by the Versailles Treaty from owning tanks. They initiated a tank program, very clandestine, in 1925.
Yes.
So
they called them tractors, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember seeing that in a documentary about how they were developing.
It's a tractor. It's a gun to deal with the geese. Like, that's all, really. Really, that's all it was. We're scaring the geese with a 37 millimeter gun. It was a six ton tank, different suspensions, and that was various different modes. This was kind of in between the war thing. So this looks very good. I believe it was 2 or 3 seat. The engine was in front. Quite a good description here. Three crew. I'm just reading through here. Now this is also featured in that video game World of Tanks, so a lot of interest there. So people are talking about that. This is still not a lot of details. We've just seen some CAD drawings. So far, we don't know if there's going to be any photo etch or the what type of tracks there are, but they are saying it's not going to be long. Available end of May or early June.
Well, it's coming up quick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that looks kind of interesting. So again, as we hear more details, Italeri, their April releases, a whole wide variety as always. We've got the Audi Quattro Rally 124 scale, 1980. This was a 4-wheel drive rally car. I remember these. I'm old. But,
yeah?
Yeah.
I love the rally cars.
Yeah, this was nice. It did very well. It debuted at the 1981 World Rally Championship. Very good results. Nice looking kit for those people into that. 18.3 centimeters, about 32 euros, they're saying. Nice decal scheme there. Rally drivers, those guys are nuts. Those guys have got to be the most skilled ones I know, because they're literally driving and they're just hearing what the map the navigator's telling them, like if there's a sharp turn ahead or whatever. Like seriously,
Yeah.
I swear it's
fun
just
to watch.
Yeah, I swear it's just, bury the pedal until he tells you to let off because you're coming up to a corner.
Yeah, it's definitely madcap racing, right?
Oh God, yeah. Like I said, those guys, kudos of respect to them. Basically, they do some pretty cool stuff. Next up, they have from the Italian Air Force, the SM-81, known as the Bat, 172nd scale. This was a 3-engine, I guess, a medium bomber developed in the mid-30s. Worked in the Ethiopian campaign, the Spanish Civil War, and of course during World War II. Powered by 3 650 horsepower Romeo engines, and then more powerful ones. It was armed with 2,000 kilograms of bombs, had 6 defensive guns. So the kit there, Italeri is producing 172nd, 32 euros. Quite a few schemes, though. Let's see here.
You got 5 different versions.
Yeah, and you know what? The Italian planes are always amazing camouflage. Very challenging.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I agree. They're very colorful, really interesting. It'd be fun to do that painting.
Yeah, and once the war started, of course, it was becoming outmatched, so it became more of a night mission bomber. So that's why they started calling it the Bat. So, again, for fans of Italian air from that period, I'm sure they'll be looking forward to that.
Very cool.
Next up, 172nd scale, smaller scale, is the M12 gun motor carriage. This is an artillery piece developed. It was used in the hull of the M3 Lee or Grant. And it was actually a 155 millimeter artillery piece, but it was actually French origin, the artillery piece. But it was very, very popular. It worked very, very well. And again, 172nd scale, so 4 different schemes. For the most part, it's just whatever the thing's named. They seem to all have that standard olive drab.
Yeah, the Choo Choo Barn and the Buccaneer.
Yeah, all these funny names. It's also so it looks pretty good.
Persuader.
Yep.
Yeah.
Semi-individual tracks. The ones they like doing the bits where you have just a few individual links, but then they have the rest in sections, so it makes it easier to put it around the tank.
That's I like that format.
So do I.
That's sort of what you do anyway, right? From what I've experienced.
Yeah, it saves you a ton of aggravation. Exactly. So, nice, like I say, nice little kit. It's a smaller size, but quite a few parts for it. So I'm sure, for the war gamers, that they'd like it as well. Moving on, something for the truck modelers, which I confess I know very little about. The Mercedes-Benz 2238, 124 scale. 28 centimeters long, 51 euros. This is one of the premium trucks by Mercedes-Benz. You've got 2 different decals. It's the heaviest truck for long-distance transport. Nice big engine. A lot of detail looks here. No photo etch when I can see 10 tires. And again, if you need this is just the truck. This isn't a trailer as most of these kits are. You normally buy a trailer separately. I know in all the shows, there always seems to be quite a few truck modelers. You never see them much at the club, at least our club meetings. But we seem to have a lot of people building trucks.
I can only recall maybe 1 or 2 members who are interested in doing trucks.
Yeah, but it's interesting that we always get a ton that show up at the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, the 135th scale, the RSO-03 with a PAC 40. This is a little track vehicle. This was a Caterpillar tractor to tow different types of vehicles. So the translation was Crawler Tractor East. It was built mainly by an Australian company. 2 different schemes, plus you get the PAC 40 anti-tank gun. So for 36 euros, that's not a bad deal. You get kind of two kits. Very nicely detailed, a lot of little accessories.
Interesting design. I wonder if it comes with the 2 figures that they feature in the artwork.
I don't see it here. I'm just looking through the sprue list here, and I don't see them, but one never knows. Not that I can see. It's got some clear parts, vinyl tracks.
There's always plenty of figures
yes, exactly.
Spruce up your diorama or give it some interest.
So again, I'm sure there's some people that will find that interesting. I remember building a 76 scale PAC 40 years ago, and it was tiny.
Oh, yeah.
So that's at least a little bit bigger. Next up is the B-58 Hustler in 172nd scale. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a reissue. So this was a Delta Wing bomber. This was a pretty big plane, even in 1/72nd scale. This was a Delta Wing and had 4 engines slung underneath. Pretty futuristic looking. In the early
definitely.
60s. Yep. Pretty cool. 30 euros. It's going to be 40 centimeters long. You've got actually 6 decal variations. That's actually quite a few. So all sorts of different ones, different squadrons. Stuff like
they're
that.
Not. It seems like they're all a bare metal finish, but you get to just the specific squadron.
Yeah, you've got a few which are records breakers. For example, Grease Lightning. It did Tokyo to London in 8 hours and 35 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. Supersonic speed with a full load, and it carried nukes and all that. So yeah, it was designed to get in, drop the darn thing, and get the hell out of Dodge. So yeah, I know a lot of people who are into these. I'm sure the re-release of that will be popular as well.
I wonder if it's was it rare to come by before this?
I'm not sure, but I don't see it being a new release. I haven't seen enough, because if someone, the bomber community out there, we would be hearing about it. Well in advance. So no, but like I said, still a popular one if they're going to issue it again. Okay, moving on north of the Italian border, we move up to Germany, Revell, Germany. So we've got a couple of different things here that they've announced for release. I think a couple we may have talked about before. Speaking of self-propelled guns, the M40 GMC in 1/76 scale. I'll bet you anything this is the old Matchbox release. And in fact, I know it is. Yeah, Matchbox original tooling, because it's got the little base. The Matchbox 1/76 stuff all had a little base.
Oh yeah.
But these were actually quite good. I had all these when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So
they have like a nostalgic kind of fun memory.
Yeah, they do, because they were nice and easy to build. They were a good size. Back then you could build them in an afternoon, but they also had this neat little diorama base. As I say, it's far from perfect. I'm even noticing on the picture here, there's a bit of a seam line on them. But
I have the same feelings about the kits that I built as a kid in the 80s. You know what I mean? But even though if someone were to look at them, the quality and the level, just with fresh eyes, like, oh goodness, what a beast that would be.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? These actually build up. You can build them up fairly well. And again, for the war gamers and stuff like that, it's pretty cool. So that's kind of neat. Moving on to a more modern version, the Panzer Hablitz 2000 in 1/35 scale. This is considered to be the most modern and powerful artillery gun in the world.
Really?
Used by the Germans. 155 millimeter artillery shell. It tosses them 30 kilometers.
Wowza.
Not bad.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So, it's been in service since 98. Several countries use them. So again, this looks good. 29 euros, so not bad at all. And then we have, I think we actually talked about this one last week, the Char B1.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the Matchbox kit. This is another Matchbox kit. So I know we talked about it. So if you go down a little bit in the link we have in the show notes, you'll see it comes with like a little base, and the soldiers will be included. Further on is the Bell X-1 in 1/32 scale. This was the first supersonic aircraft flown by Captain Charles Chuck Yeager, and when he broke the sound barrier. So you've got 4 different versions. Yeah, this is an ex-Revell US kit, so they've bought the mold for that. So again, older mold. And then this one's kind of neat. A 1/24 scale Unimog RW1. So this is a Schliemann, and I'm slaughtering that. I apologize. They're a very popular fire engine maker out of Europe.
This is really cool.
Yeah, you'll often see these at airports and places like that. So again, full-on emergency vehicle. This looks pretty cool. Pull-out equipment drawers, decals for 5 versions. I'd love for them to make more fire engine types. I absolutely would. They just never seem to be enough. So again, this looks pretty good. 5 different versions. 49 euros, so not bad. And then we've got the Canon Jagdpanzer. See again, an observation vehicle. This is again modern, a reasonably recent tank destroyer. It was used by the German army from the 60s until the 80s. So again, older stuff. 1/35 scale. Vinyl tracks, 90 millimeter cannon, four decals, stuff like that. I also want to point out, I got an email late today from Revell. They're also re-releasing the venerable B1B Lancer in a massive 1/48 scale.
Wow.
Yeah, this is an old mold. They're calling it a platinum edition now, so it's got some photo etch in that. This is a big kit. Yeah. This is almost a meter long.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a big bird.
Yeah, I've included the ScaleMates link to it. The original mold is 83. The original mold was 83, but they've added parts on the way and all that. I also remember I still have the Revell catalog somewhere where this one was announced, the 83 catalog, but they basically put new decals in, new parts, stuff like that. Apparently it builds up not bad. There's a lot of aftermarket you can get for it, but yeah, this one's basically, it's got some new parts. It's going to have some photo etches in it, stuff like that, but this is a big beast. This is, you need some room for this puppy.
Man, that's quite the commitment there.
yeah. So it's pretty popular, but again, it's one of these ones I never built it, but I remember when it came out, and I was pretty impressed with it, the size and all that. So because again, that'd be one probably hanging on the ceiling. So,
for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So that is from our good friends at Revell Germany. Mini Art, just a couple of things I'm just going to mention here. They've got some of their new releases. They also have some really cool stuff. I think we've talked about, they've got some of the, more figures, another Soviet railway flatbed, train car, oil and petrol cans from the 30s and 40s. So all sorts of neat little things.
The gantry crane and equipment set.
Cool. They do some really good stuff, especially like support vehicles and stuff like that. A lot of unusual subjects. So they have the bulldozer, and then the KMT early type mine roller, the KMT 7. So again, that was that would go in front of your tank and take care of the mines and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely worth. They always have some. They're producing a lot, and they've got some really good stuff, and people seem to say good things about it. So,
excellent.
Yeah. To me, a couple of things here, and I'm surprised I hadn't mentioned this already, but some of their new stuff, the 1/72nd scale BF 109 G6. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this version, the Gustav version of the 109. For the German guys, it's about as equal as the Mark 1 Spitfire that came out a couple of months ago. I know people have been looking forward to this kit. So this is an all-new mold kit. They've also got, looks like it's a reissue, the KI-61 Tony. I remember this one because it's kind of neat, because what they did was they actually gave you the kit in silver chrome plating, and then they gave you camouflage decals to simulate like the random paint going over it. It's a Reeboks. It's been around for actually no.
Those chrome finishes don't really hold up though anymore.
But you know what's interesting? This is actually a new tool. But from
2018,
really? They had one before this, so I was thinking it was that. No, what they've done is they did what they did with the old mold. They've given the option for that. So interesting. Yeah. Interesting. So again,
an interesting concept for sure.
Yeah, I just remember it years ago, so that's why I thought I'd mention it as well. So that's kind of neat. As I said, the 109 G6, a lot of people have been talking about it. It's an all new tool, because the last time it was retooled was 2000. So I know people have been looking forward to that. Other than that, they've got a 1/6 scale DAX Honda Export 70. Looks like a little motor scooter. A lot of RC stuff this month for them. They do have here a Tamiya fine lapping film, number 8000. I don't know if that's 8000 grit, but 3 pieces, and that looks interesting. So again, sheets of very fine looking sandpaper.
Yeah, they have a lot of really interesting tools.
They do.
I've noticed. Just same as like Wave and you know what I mean? Some of those, sometimes I have a hard time figuring out what they're for, but then when you finally realize what they're intending it for, you're like, oh, that's great.
Oh, exactly. So that's their announcements. Now, this is what I'm kind of excited about. I know a lot of people in the Spitfire community is about. Edouard did a post to their Facebook page earlier this week, and they're basically saying one of their designers, who, again, I'm not even going to attempt the name, but a very good guy, he's finalizing the design of a Spitfire Mark V B. Now, this is I'm quoting here from the release. Other Spitfire versions, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 5A, Mark 5C, Seafire, as well as Spitfire Mark 6 and 7 are also a part of the project. They didn't really say the scale, but most people are thinking that's going to be 48th. Oh, they do say 48th here.
Yeah, they have that there.
There is a lot of, there is a need for some of these, of Edouard's quality for some of these early Spitfires. So this is being met with a lot of excitement in the Spitfire community.
Looks amazing, all the rendering.
I would love a 48 scale Seafire, for example. I'm a Spitfire guy, so not to the extent that some people are, but I know I had a quick look around some of the forums from the usual suspects, and people are excited about this. There's no time frame. They just show some CAD stuff, but if it's Edouard, they're going to do a nice job on it. You'll get 9,000 options for photo etch.
Something to look forward to.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. This one will be
save up your pesos.
Save up a lot of pesos.
Yeah, that's cool. I always wanted to do one of the. Hopefully one day I get around to it. One of the pink ones. The Recon.
The Recon in the desert pink. Yeah.
Yeah, they did them in pink and blue, and it was like it would go up at dusk or dawn and take pictures.
Yeah, it was very fast. They stripped them all out.
And they had the camera domes in them.
Yeah, the camera domes, and the only thing that replaced them eventually were the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes were eventually faster, but these things would be over really up high, and they'd be over and gone before the Germans knew they were there. Basically, some pretty cool, pretty brave guys too. So. Okay,
absolutely.
Moving out of the air and into the water, our good friends at Dragon USA, they're, for the larger shipbuilders, they're releasing a version of the Scharnhorst. That was a German battleship. And they've already done it 2 other ones, but this one is the 1940 scheme. This one helped sank the HMS Glorious. So that was So that was involved with the invasion of Normandy. A lot of bonus parts, I guess, so it's going to be interesting. So again, essentially a backdate, and I guess if you're a ship guy, you can tell the difference. So,
it sounds like that was quite in 2010. It was quite a landmark in ship kit technology,
Exactly. Some of the photo etch I'm seeing here looks very detailed. Lots of fiddly photo etch for you guys who enjoy torturing your
ladders and railings and
good luck with that.
Riggers.
Again, my hats are off to the guys that can do that. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, they have they don't call it a Jeep. They're calling it a 1/4 ton 4x4 truck. It's a Jeep, kids. Let's not fool ourselves.
It kind of looks like the Willys Jeep.
Yeah, it is. It is the Willys Jeep. I don't know. It's probably a licensing thing. They can't call it that.
I wonder,
Yeah, but this is 1/6 scale. So this was this is a re-release. This is big, 1/6.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Like you're getting up to the radio control thing and stuff like that. So it's a new variant been released. This one's featuring a 30 cal machine gun on a pedestal or whatever. So
lots of opportunity for detail when you get to that.
Yep.
That size almost for me doesn't strike me as a model anymore.
No,
it's getting out of the kind of realm of what I imagined.
Well, it's like these guys building those 1/6 tanks, right? They're radio control.
Yeah, like they just don't quite feel like a model to me anymore. Yeah. But it's to each his own. And
to each his own, exactly. Yeah. This one was announced quite a while ago, and it's finally coming in late May. So that'll be
probably do some really cool stuff there. Though when you're at that scale and you can see it, you could probably really play with some textures and doing some things that you wouldn't do with the smaller scale stuff.
Yep, and I can see, I can certainly see, people are really fans of it. That it's a really kind of cool thing. Okay, moving on. AK Interactive. So they've got a whole new line of weathering pencils.
Yeah, we were chatting about this. Looks very interesting.
Yeah, it does. I got an email from them as well about this. So these are €1 each, so about $1.50. Is going to be 37 colors. They're semi-grease and they're a water base. So basically designed to be used for modeling. You sharpen them and away you go. So you can do for dry applications. They're talking about chipping, scratches, paneling. But there's also wet applications. So streaking effects, rust effects. Dust and mud accumulation, color translation. So,
apparently they're meant to be blended. And
yep, exactly. So you can buy them individually. Again, roughly €1 each, and looks like they're also doing some packs, some 5 packs, so €5 each, different types. They've got basic colors, dirt, different colors, metallic effect sets. They also have the very nice deluxe edition box, €37. This looks really nice. I'd really like to get my hands on this. Coming soon.
Maybe at the show. This will be
they didn't say, so we'll have
treasure to see. You find.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But no, these look interesting because again, it's another way, another technique. AK does some good stuff too. So also coming out in March, they've got another one in their learning series, and this one's number 8, and this is all about modern figures and the camouflage schemes for modern figures for the guys doing that. They've got. Go ahead.
Yeah. That sounds really neat. I'd be interested.
They're doing a lot of these. Like the European guys are really coming out with a lot of different books and techniques and stuff like that. Another one of issue 3 of their Action magazine. That's more focusing on the wargamers, but again, they've had full things on how to, do a house and stuff like that. Cool. They then got a new one they're starting in collaboration with Desert Eagle Publishing, the Rust and Dust series. So this is reference material with modeling techniques. So again, always a single purpose. And this is, I'm quoting from the release here. The model can build a vehicle in the most realistic way with a lot of material, precise material, and a small step-by-step guide. So again, fully illustrated, just like they've always done. Some very nice work. So again, these days there's so much out there, not just on the internet, but if you want a physical book in your hand, there is. And then moving on.
It's a good investment.
Oh, it is. Yeah, exactly. For some people who want the physical thing, some people prefer the online. I'm a little bit of both. Also, 1/35th scale. They're releasing a medic from the 82nd Airborne, a Pacific Sherman Field Armor update for one of their kits, and so it looks like some extra armor. An industrial ruined chimney is also being released in 1/35th. So a whole bunch of stuff coming soon. Again, I haven't got a release yet for these pencils, but I'm sure we'll hear about it. There's just and again, there's just so much coming out from these guys.
They've been very prolific with their products, which is great.
Yeah, the armor is very, very popular. Okay, let's move on. We have some anime here.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit too. So last year, Wave came out with a 1/72nd scale VF 4G Lightning 3, which is one of my all-time, my Grail kit.
Yep.
Back in I think it briefly appears in an animation from the mid '80s, and it was only released in like a very low run resin kit.
Yep.
Never even saw one, and then someone I think cleaned it up, that resin kit, and repopped it. They improved it, and then that one again, never saw it. And anyway, so Wave got the licensing because for Macross there's Bandai doing it and also Hasegawa. But they got the licensing. They put out that kit. And it looks. I'm hoping that's gonna be my next kit that I start.
It looks looks good. I always remember this because this is from the later Macross. This is from what Macross?
It's from Flashback.
Right.
2012.
Yeah,
which came out, I think 1985.
Right. Yeah, because they kind of took the same color schemes that they had the two characters here using for Max or was Max and
Miria.
Miria. Yeah. So the basic, it's kind of just the way the photos look. It just something with the finish makes it almost look toy-like, but I know it's not.
Oh yeah.
But they're a very cool aircraft.
They just came out with that original kit from last year was the Skull and Crossbones.
That's right.
Which is that the Fokker markings from the Squadron.
Yeah.
And from Skull Team.
Yep.
And then this version is a couple of their ace characters, Max and Miria. They had their own colors were blue and red, right? So now this kit is $72.50.
Yeah, Canadian. Yeah.
It's still one kit. They just included decals for either the Max type or the Miria type, and they've added some of the weapons pods, and it's a bit more money. I think it's actually at that price is a little. I find it a little expensive.
Okay.
Even the skull version was $65, but I had to have it.
Well, so it's not much more.
But it's just a 72nd scale.
Yeah. Now, did the one you get come with all the weapons and everything?
It did not come with the weapons.
So this one comes with the micro missile pod, large anti-ship reaction missiles, and anti-air guided missiles.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, Hasegawa has put out. They put out like an accessory kit with all of the different armaments and payload. So I'm just going to use some of those on my Skull Squadron type.
now you know it's interesting. I'm looking at the Hobby link Japan link for this, and it's also does it also have Skull Squadron decals as well? Because
the original release did.
Okay,
so I don't know if they've given it to you in this or
because it's weird. Because it's weird. Some of the sample pictures they have.
That's the original release.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just weird they don't. It's maybe they just put that in by mistake.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I would include it there, but I actually want to do mine. There was a version of it. I don't know if this was just something assumed by fans, but there was like a, the Vietnam Sundowners.
Yes.
Squadron. There was sort of that homage done on the Lightning, and I actually going to try and do that.
That'd be cool. That'd be very very cool. Yeah, no,
I love that.
These are great. I've got a VF1 Valkyrie in the stash, 172nd. I got from Aaron in the club, and at some point I got to build that up. I'm looking forward to that.
And that's a nice build. The Hasegawa does a great job.
That's the Hasegawa one. So no, this looks really 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 cool. So what? Cool. So what else do we have here?
Another interesting science fiction release is this. Wave has also come up with a 120 SF3D Machine & Krieger New Spotter.
Okay.
This is a June release, and it's 44.78 Canadian. Mm-hmm. Now this is a very interesting kit. I put the wrong.
That's okay. I'm just picking up the wrong link. Yeah.
So this kit came out originally, I'm going to say, in the 80s.
Okay.
And apparently the molds were lost to time.
Oh,
so it was a multimedia kit at the time. It's that kind of like probe thing with like a long boom and then two kind of spindly arms. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently it came with metal pieces for the arms right in the kit, and apparently the molds for that lower boom and the metal arms were lost.
Interesting.
And I think it might have been put out by a different company. It might have been, I don't know if it was Wave at the time.
Right.
But it was sort of a legendary kit, right? You couldn't get it. It was sort of a neat design, and people liked it.
Yeah. And I got the link now, so I corrected the link. So
thank you.
This is cool.
Thank you. Yeah, so Wave has somehow got the license for that, and they've remade the missing pieces.
Right.
And now they've done it. They recreated it in plastic parts, and it's a very current kit with all the
kind of a high tech probe droid.
yeah. I mean, it has probably a little bit of heritage of Star Wars design, but it's its own. I don't know what like.
And it can do your dental work, and it looks like it can do your dental work as well.
Yeah, it sort of does look like that, doesn't it?
That's pretty cool.
It comes with decals, and I think maybe the original kit lit up.
Yeah, this one says
with a lighting kit.
They specifically say this kit does not light up. So
so I wondered about that, but it's a really interesting design, and that's very cool. It's kind of been reincarnated.
Yeah, about $45, not bad at all. Looks like a good size. Yeah,
I think it's 1 to 22. So it does come with a little 1 to 20th scale. Looks like a child figure, so it's kind of something cool.
Or something, or trying to beat it to death with a stick or something. I'm not sure. I wouldn't recommend that, son. I'm just looking it up from our good friends at ScaleMate. See if I can find any more about it here.
I really love models with like interesting production histories.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Here you go. They talk about it here. 1985.
85, so it's pretty vintage.
Looks like they have 2 entries for it. I don't know why at ScaleMates, but very neat. They have a sprue picture actually on one of them.
Oh, so it looks like a Nitto release, and Nitto is sort of long gone.
Okay.
And they were the original.
Yeah, it's just weird. They seem to have 2 different entries for it. I don't know why.
Well, I see one in 120 and another one in 1 to 76 scale, which was also a popular scale for other Machine & Krieger.
No, I know what it is. Releases. Just I think when whoever's put the category in, one says NR20 and the other one doesn't. I think that's all it is. They're both the same, but just I'm looking at the descriptions here. But looks very, very cool. This is what I love about ScaleMates, because you can go back and see the history So yeah,
that Krakenvogel. It's like a different. Yeah. It's like a variant.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so very cool, very cool. I remember this box. I remember the look of this manufacturer's boxing.
It kind of looks like the craft paper. And it has like the photo.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in various places. And okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's very
super neat. I did actually pick up a Nitto. I think a vintage Nitto kit. Yeah. Of the Nut Rocker.
Ow.
Which is like a hovering tank. It's it's called a Nut Rocker.
Something's obviously lost in the translation there, I'm gonna guess.
yeah. But it looks like a fun kit. It's a weird. It's like 1:76 scale. I think we chatted about it, but it's the only kit I have from this. Even though I really enjoy this stuff, it's not kind of calling out, tugging at my heartstrings or anything like that. But it looks like a lot of fun. It's neat to hold a vintage kit that isn't terrible.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So speaking of our friends at ScaleMates, hottest kits right now. I'm just having a quick peek here. A lot of people talking about the Academy Cobra, the U.S. Marine Corps HA-1Z, 135th. Of course, Edwards Mustang, the Ocean Hawk, the Spitfire, of course. Oh, yeah, this one here, Ming's. I don't think we even covered this. Ming Models. There's a sci-fi movie out of China called The Wandering Earth, and apparently it's a big budget over there, and it's apparently been making a lot of money. So basically the story is... the Earth, the sun, and the solar system's going to blow up or something. So they got to they basically build giant engines to take the Earth out of orbit and slowly make its way to Alpha Centauri, and they have everyone else in like these cities protect them from the cold. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I know. You read that, you go, that's okay. But this is one of the this is one of the vehicles from the movie, The Wandering Earth, the UEG infantry fighting vehicle.
This guy looks like some sort of IFV type of armor.
Yeah. Yes. But apparently someone else, I read somewhere, I'm just going to do another search here. This is what's great about, there's a whole bunch of different ones. So they're also making a bunch in trumpeters, doing 1/100th, because some of these vehicles are quite big. So, so Ming and Trumpeter both seem to have the licenses. So they've got a cargo truck, which is huge, 1/100th. Apparently this is quite big, though, because it's 1/100th scale, and they're coming out fairly soon. But apparently this movie, I had to look it up, and I watched the trailer, and there's some big budget behind it.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they've also got like if you just do a search for The Wandering Earth and ScaleMates, they've also got a model of one of the space stations and a model of the Earth engine. It doesn't say what scale that is. That's got to be something absolutely massive, because these engines, then a couple of them for whatever reason fail, and they have to, it's our heroes have to go and restart the engines and all that sort of thing. So it's definitely worth checking. Check out the trailer. Hopefully, I'm sure we'll see it here one day. From what I saw, it's someone spent some money on the FX, and the story, who knows, right? But it looks like it's a special effect tour de force, shall we say.
Yeah. Here, I'll stick the... I'm going to put the link to the trailer in there.
Yeah, put the link to the trailer. It's worth watching. It's kind of cool. And again, we talk about movie tie-ins and all that, and we're seeing that now, not just for North America. You're seeing similar things. But I remember some people talking about this recently. Actually, I know our friends down under at On the Bench mentioned the cargo truck, but I know I've been seeing some talk about it in some of the other forums and whatnot. So, definitely something to keep an eye on. Okay, so that is, I think we got sidetracked at the cargo truck, but that's pretty well most of
all the news.
All the news that's fit to print, fit to line the birdcage, whatever. I'm just having another quick look down. Nothing much else has changed there. Like I said, that's interesting.
That Spitfire's been there in that Hot Topics for
people love that. Yeah, as I said, and you'll find the same thing with that BF-109G, the new tool 72nd Tamiya. Sure. Now this is interesting. Edwards released a Tornado F3 for 2019 1/48 scale. The Tornado was actually just retired by the RAF last week.
That's right. I did hear that.
So that's kind of interesting to see. But most of the other ones haven't moved much. Your M551 Sheridan's still there. Mm-hmm. Still very popular. But all sorts of cool kits coming out.
Yeah. Okay. The Zwilling. Did we talk about the Zwilling? The Henkel.
Yeah, I think
that was Lift 46 kind of thing.
No, is that the twin ankle? It was real. They built it. They was designed to tow. One of the reasons they built it, they were towing gliders for the paratroopers, but these gliders had light tanks in them.
Oh, okay. If that's what I'm thinking. It looks very very weird.
Just looking that up here. Which one's that? That was the twin ankle, right? Looks like two bombers. Yeah.
That's two fuselage and one kind of shared wing.
That actually flew. Yeah. It was like I said, the main purpose was that they built it for giant glider towing.
Yeah.
Of course, now I can't spell Henkel to save my life, so I'm not finding it, but I'm not going to worry about it.
No worries.
Yeah, no, it flew. And it's been in video games and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
There it is. Oh, yeah, Hasegawa 172nd. Yeah. Oh, no, maybe we haven't talked about it, but that looks cool. Yeah, again, long range, stuff like that. It is a Reeboks from the 2004 one. I didn't even know they built one. Again, too big for my...
I wasn't familiar with it,
Yeah. Oh, no, what they've done? They basically just added parts from the existing...
dressed it up a little bit.
Well, Hasegawa did one in 2004, the Henkel 111, and then Revell had it for a while. So what they've done is, they're basically going to just make the parts. Because what do you have to do? The only new mold you need is the center wing. Right, you got the engines and everything else, right? You just slap instead of one fuselage, you slap two in, throw a couple of three extra engines in, you're good to go, right? That's how easy it is, right?
Okay, right? So it really has a lot of lineage with the regular Henkel.
Yeah, essentially, they basically just what they did was they basically took two of them, they cut off the wings on either side, put a new wing on, added an extra engine.
Yeah.
But that was its main. Like I said, it had a lot of different purposes, but one of the original purposes was designed to tow really big gliders.
Yeah,
like ones that had like armor or trucks in them. So that was the main thing. So all right, moving on then. So we're going to talk a little bit with also some exciting news. Of course, we are sponsored by our good friends at Goodman Models, which would be you.
Me, yes.
With the sanding
I'm your
sticks.
good friend.
You're my good friend, yes. And we also noticed that you did a restock in Toronto, one of the big Toronto hobby shops.
Yes, Wheels and Wings they have lots of sets now of the value pack, and they have tons of the super sanding singles.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
And, and I think people are really enjoying those. So it's a great way to try them out without sort of committing to the full set, see if it's going to work for you. And people who have worn out their favorite one can just pick up one without having to rebuy the whole thing.
Exactly. And they're also going to be available if you're in the Hamilton, Ontario, Canada area this weekend at HeritageCon, where
HeritageCon 13.
You're going to be doing a demo with our good friends at Alpha Abrasives.
Yeah, the FlexiFile table. They're going to be selling super sanding singles, and they're going to have lots of the value packs, and I'll have them out for demo, and I'll have some things around they can test out on, and I'll show some cool tricks you can do, and they're going to be available there as well.
And what time's your demo again for those attending?
So it is Sunday, March 24th, and the demo is going to be held from 11 to 12:30.
Okay, so remember, folks, bring your autograph books, but wait until after the demo for autographs.
Yes.
And I'm actually going to be taping that. I'm hoping to be able to tape the demo. I'm gonna wire Anthony up to the lav mic, and we'll hopefully get a nice demo in for both Alpha and for our website as well. So that's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Cool. Now, one of the things we announced, one of the things I should say you announced, we had a contest.
Yes, the first annual Scale Model Podcast Super Sanding Block
Giveaway, draw, whatever we want to call it.
Yes.
So we invited people to share and like and comment, and we did get quite a few at the last minute, as always, all over the world, which is really, really cool. So what I basically did was before we went to air, I loaded up the Facebook page, made sure I had all comments and who shared and all that, and I basically assigned a number to every comment, and then I threw in the random number generator. And then randomly clicked and picked a number, and the winner was actually on my now. Drum roll. There you go. Now the way Facebook does it is everyone sometimes sees it a little bit different, but at the time when I did it, it was number 3, and number 3 on my timeline was Ray Davis. Ray is in Australia. He's actually written about us. He's written to us. So congratulations, Ray.
Yes, all right, Ray.
Yep, we're going to reach out. And Anthony, you've already spoken to him before, right? So you can reach out.
I did, yeah. He was inquiring about them, and so I'm glad they found his way to him.
Ray's been a very good fan of the show. He's sent us some information and stuff like that. So we're really looking forward to getting that set down to you. So Ray, one of us will reach out to you for your mailing address, and we'll get those in the post, and we'll get down there and let us know when you get them. If you could do me a favor, Ray, and we'll remind you as well, post a picture if you want when you get them, and even a picture of yourself, as long as you're not worried about cracking the lens, mate. That's all I ask. And because we'd love to
always encourage people to
exactly.
Anything you're doing with the Super Saiyan blocks, I'd love to see pictures of, post them up, or just whatever you're doing in your models.
But you know what, we had some great comments about the podcast. We really appreciate it. We had some people talking about what they use them for. Someone was using them on a surface of a reluctant MiG-27. They are best for squaring up joining surfaces. All sorts of stuff. People talking about, they love hearing about our new model news, our interviews. We do enjoy doing interviews. We're going to try and get some more people lined up for that. We have a few in the pipeline, shall we say.
Yeah, a few interesting in the works. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Exactly. So again, congratulations to Ray. Right. Anthony, shall I leave it for you to reach out to him?
I will take care of that. So Ray, I'll be in touch.
Yep, he'll be in touch, and we'll get that. We'll get that in the post as soon as we can. So that's really awesome. Okay, moving on. We don't really have a lot of topic this week. I thought about just with us going to Heritage Con this weekend. Let's talk a little bit about hobby shows. Maybe just some general tips and stuff like that. Again, it was such a busy week. I meant to post something and get some ideas from people, but we can always do that later on. So if you have any,
talk about
so if you have any other tips, please feel free to leave a comment on the Facebook page, and we'll talk about it more. So one of the things I find with hobby shows myself, obviously planning. You've got to kind of plan your strategy and stuff like that. And I hate to say it, and my wife will laugh at me. You got to have a budget. You've got to try and, because most, now it's getting more dangerous because a lot more vendors now are taking credit cards and debit cards. So in the old days, once you're out of cash, you were screwed.
Yep. You're screwed or you're saved.
You're screwed or you're saved. Yeah, exactly.
Depending on how you're looking at it.
Right. Well, because it's like anything else. You go, I'm going to be really good, and then you see some amazing deal, and it's like
I remember. That's when my spray booth was a last minute credit card purchase.
Oh, geez, yeah, I've done that before.
I was at Wonderfest, and that's like a 3-day, a fairly big convention almost, right? And I had already bought some, crazy models and some other this and that things I, couldn't find and at home, whatever. And at the last day, I see a guy with these really incredible paint booths, right? With the fan on it, and they're just put together. And all right, I broke up my credit card. How much? I'll take the cheapest model you have, which was significant, but I was like, it's so worth it, and I still use it years later. It's great.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, well, then that's the thing, and again, obviously, if you buy something big like that, make sure you have a way to get it home.
Oh yeah, well, it was sort of a flat pack.
So that's not bad.
But it was big though. I definitely was like carrying this big, huge box, and people were like, "Where did that come from?" Guys, I was driving. What did you get into?
Okay, when do you guys has to sit in the trunk? Sorry. Yeah. So that's always good. Have a plan. I always like to in advance, have an idea of what I want or what I'm really looking for. And again, this may go against a lot of people, but I don't need a lot of more kits. So I tend to really be looking for specific things. Like I basically if I see it, and as long as it's not an absolutely obscene price, if I want it, I'm going to get it no matter what. But then other people say it's worth doing a wander around and seeing what's there. You might find a better deal elsewhere. I tend to, and Anthony knows this too, I tend to go for the tool tables first.
I'm trying to pick up every show. Whenever I buy a kit, I have enough kits.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to build everything, right? Mm-hmm. But in reality, I have enough stuff to build.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just can't get these really neat, like the weathering products, like the MIGs or pigments, that kind of thing. That's what I got last time at it's just not the kind of thing you can just roll into the hobby shop and get all the time.
Well, exactly. And you know what's nice is, and again, we've got some, I know we had them at our show, and we had Raptor Hobbies, and they're going to be, Ricardo's going to be at Hamilton. It's a chance to try them and demo. Yeah, exactly. So you can actually see the products, get them in your hands. The same thing with Alpha Abrasives. They have the stuff there, so you can actually, get your hands on it and have a look. And, as you're doing, there's demos and stuff like that.
And they're really great at demoing their tools. And their tools are really cool, but sometimes it's not quite obvious how they're going to benefit you. But when you see him show it to you, oh, wow. And it is a kind of tool that elevates your game.
Well, exactly. And there's sometimes you think, oh, I could really use this. And once you see it, you may say, no, maybe not. So it's nice to be able to have that option either way. It's always good. I always say, look for deals. Sometimes you can find some deals later in the day as people are packing up, depending on how people want to negotiate. One of the other things I always like to say is make sure you stay hydrated. You're on your feet the entire day.
That's true.
It's one of those things. Take care of yourself too. Take breaks. I know the older I get, the more often I got to have a sit. Stuff like that. I know from the London show we're on our feet, and when I'm doing Hamilton too. But take the opportunity. Don't worry about missing something. If it wasn't to be, it wasn't to be. That's really the way
there's always things to build and have fun with, and nothing to get stressed about. Right.
And the other thing I encourage, obviously, don't just go to the show for the trade area. Go and check out the kits, and check out kits you're not necessarily into. Like I said, I'm always fascinated by the transport truck kits. I can never see me building one, but there's some amazing stuff there. We've talked about this before. You've got some of the more the sci-fi, the Gundam, the Warhammer, the miniature stuff. Those are just absolutely amazing. If you're an aircraft builder, definitely check out the aircraft, but also look at other ones and get a chance to, ask questions, talk to people. That's what I love about these shows. It's a good chance to talk to people. Quite often I haven't seen in years. I'm looking forward to meeting up and talking to some people from the Hamilton Club I haven't seen in a few years, and supporting their show, and exactly, do what you can. It's a good way to support the hobby. Don't miss the tables. No, don't miss the tables. If there's a demo, try and check in on a demo. Say hi to people. See how you can support things. The other thing I like to do is if there is a raffle table or a 50-50 table, particularly if it's going to charity. I know we have in London London and area, just up the road, we have the Air Cadet Con every year, and that goes to the Air Cadets. You're seeing quite a few that do that, or they're for charity.
Usually there's a charity aspect. That's the AirCAD Con show that you're referring to.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yes, exactly.
AirCAD Con, which is a nice little show.
Yeah, it is. It's a good little show.
And the Hamilton show is in essence a charity for the Heritage Museum, Warplane Museum.
Yeah, and that is an awesome museum if you can get to see it. You've got it. Yeah, if you're ever in the area, Hamilton's just down the road from Toronto. It's well worth seeing just for the museum itself. It's home of one of only 2 flying Lancasters in the world.
Quite the thing to see, right?
Yep, the RAF Memorial Flight has one, and we have one, shall we say. Eventually, we're hoping to get 2. I think Windsor's working on one, too. They're working on a flying one. I don't remember if it's going to be a taxi one only or a flying one. I think it's flying, but that's quite a few years away. Just some amazing stuff in that museum, a ton of history. The club really supports the museum there. It's a good community. And again, it attracts, it's Canada's largest show now. Heritage Con. It attracts, pretty well. It attracts a ton of people. We don't really have nationals because we're just too far apart in Canada. But it's probably the closest equivalent, really, because you get pretty well all the clubs sponsor it in Canada, all the chapters. And it's an awesome place for a show. They take care of you. It's just, it's an amazing experience, which again, make sure you come early. If you can bring a kit, you want to display, even if you're not into, I don't want my kid to be judged, bring a display only. I don't build for contests. So if I can, I usually try to. I'm probably not going to this time just because I've got all this recording gear I'm bringing.
Yeah.
But again, if you can bring a kit just to show it off, you'll be surprised sometimes how you'll get people talking about it. And again, you may learn a few new things. Or
the competition is one thing, but I mean, it's not a sport.
No.
So in general, right, the hobby is a personal journey. For everyone who starts on something, and every build is better. So, I mean, more than likely every build probably gets a little bit better, and you're learning new things or exploring different avenues. So that's a great suggestion. Just bring your stuff out because people will chat with you about it. Or I gotta say I love the contest. I find them really really motivating to finish stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So whether or not they place, and it's great if it does. I mean, of course I like that too, but just having it done I find that a really big motivator.
Right, exactly. So yeah, just like I said, it's going to be a lot of kits on the table there. As we've said, it's at the Canadian Warplate Heritage Museum, and they're in Mount Hope, Ontario, which is just south actually of Hamilton. But it's
I think it's part of the greater Hamilton area.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly. You'll have that. But as I said, we've got a ton of hobby stores, ton of suppliers and manufacturers, ton of model clubs coming to support the show.
Mm-hmm. There's supposed to be a demo by I'm not sure his name, but he's one of the contributing editors on the AK
Christoph
Model Magazine.
Yes. We're actually going to have an interview with him. I'm going to be able to interview him. So we're going to do that, and again, I'm going to make it available I'm going to do video and audio. We're going to make it available to our friends at Heritage Con and on our site as well. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. I've been reading up on him a bit more. I still got to master his last name, but he's basically the project manager of AK Interactive, as well as editor at Tanker Magazine, and a proud member of the KMK Modeling Club, the famous blue shirts. So yeah, he specializes in armor. But yeah, he's going to be doing beaten up battle weary vehicles are my soft spot. So I think he's going to be doing a demo. Like I said, he's going to be doing a couple demos during the day. I'm going to get a chance to interview him at some point. So yeah, AK is definitely gonna be there. Huge stocked raffle, licensed restaurant too. Hey, we could get a beer. There you go.
Oh yeah,
and of course,
I always love having lunch there.
Yep,
that's such a great spot.
Oh yeah, and the Warplanes Heritage Museum itself has an amazing gift shop. So yeah, either hang on to your wallet or leave it or something, whatever's safer for you. You won't go wrong. Vendors this year, they've got quite a few. They have 130 vendor tables.
It's incredible.
Yeah, quite a large number of manufacturers. Again, we have mentioned a couple of them already. Hornet Hobbies, which we've talked about, this will be their last show, I believe.
Really?
Well, we know it's their last show in Hamilton. I'm just trying to get confirmation. So I'm hoping to try and get a couple of comments out of Dave, but he will be there. Hornet Hobby will be there, so there might be some stuff there, but definitely, 130 tables. I know a few guys in our club are going to have a few tables there with some of their extra stash selections. I often laugh though. You often have like again some of the local guys in the clubs and that. I swear it's like a garage sales. Like it's the same stuff, just goes round and round and round.
Yeah, sometimes. I still hunt for still out of production kits, and you can't find that stuff in the stores, but there's a good chance you might get it at a show, right?
Exactly. So
I like both. I like that aspect of
it's good to see because you'll get some deals or whatever, and that's what I'm saying. There's a couple of things that there's a couple of ones out there I'd love to add to the list. Like I got my Battlestar Pegasus, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But I know that Connect, that 48 scale F-16 XL that they've been announced. I'd like to get my hands on that, and if I can find a half decent 48 scale F-18 for a reasonable deal, again. Are you
thinking of the one with the Canada 150 scheme on it?
No, I actually like the Hasegawa one that has VF-103, the Jolly Rogers.
Okay,
I like that scheme. I'd like to do that, but just I'm a little bit nervous about if you screw up the decals. It's one of those ones where if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. No, actually, about the other one I wouldn't mind building would be the one from a couple of years ago for the anniversary of the Battle of Britain. Remember they had the upper scheme was the RAF camouflage.
Yeah, it was done almost like the Lancaster.
Yeah,
the kind
exactly.
Of an homage to that. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, I know.
Different
they made a 72nd scale, but I'm sure you can get decals for that in 48. I'm not really sure, but again, we'll just see what comes up. But there's nothing really. Unless again it's someone's having something that's on my list for an absolutely amazing price. I'm going to really try and be good. I know, and everyone's laughing. I can just imagine right now, right? My wife could hear this; she'd be laughing. No, that's one thing I do now. I do stick to a budget. I take
good for you.
A certain amount, and That's
and when you burn through it, you burn through it.
Well, you know what I find?
Money for gas.
You know what I find? Yeah, exactly. Because Anthony's driving a few of us up, so we got to pay him gas apparently, or he'll leave us at the side of the road. But no, one of the things I've noticed the last couple of shows, I have gone through it all, but then there's been a couple of kits I've had kind of second thoughts afterwards. Like, did I really? Yeah, it was a good deal, but did I really need to? In the end, I've made my money back when I've sold them, either at the club or whatever. So that's been good. But yeah,
I've had that too. I've just had a Temptation kit or like a what do you call it, Impulse. Like, oh yeah, okay, that looks awesome. I've never thought of it before. Never had no interest in it. And you plunk down a few bucks, and then it's just sitting in the shelf. And
you kind of go, why did I get that? Yeah, and that's what I found too. There's been a few like that, but it's easy to do, and that's I guess
the world. But
it's easy to get caught up in it.
If you take a breath, because I think when you see any kit or every kit or certain kits, you get this sense of like possibility, like, oh, I could do this, I could do that.
Yeah.
But you're already doing something, probably, or 3 or 10 things, right? Like, so it's to me, my way of thinking, if I can get some cool tools or some pigments or some kind of paint, or like those type of things, or some scenery stuff, which is kind of what I got my eye on.
Yeah,
and
I'm thinking for tools.
Help you with what you have.
Yeah, because I'm kind of thinking for tools. I'd still like to get a micro punch kit at some point.
Me too.
And the other ones I like is, and again, it's gone right out of my head, but the company that makes, they're like it's like a cutting pad, but they have built-in grooves. Have you seen those? Remember what I'm talking about? They have little built-in grooves, so you can do like thin tape and stuff like that. I know I talked about it ages ago.
Was it the? It's not one of like the cutters or the chopper.
No, it's not. No, it looks like like an actual cutting pad you get, but they've got grooves like in them. Strips? Yeah, so you can like do tape strips. Okay, now it's going to drive me nuts.
That's amazing. Yeah, now so it's like a stencil almost for tape.
Yeah, it's like a stencil, and I'm going to find it here.
You just think about all the things that you could apply that to, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that's where spending your hard-earned fun money on, right?
Yep.
Like your expendable.
Yeah. So as I'm trying to look this up, there's at least one listener that's yelling at their computer right now.
Yeah. It's that thing.
That thing. You know what? I'm going to pause for a second because I want to find this damn thing. So hang on one sec. Okay, we figured out what it was. Infinity model cutting mats. So they have various checkers, circles, stuff like that. This is the kind of stuff I want.
This looks awesome. I remember looking at this, and this is totally something that's worthwhile. It's going to allow you to elevate your skills and get a better result.
Yep.
With whatever kit you got laying around in your shelf.
I know. And like I said, we know I've got at least one member in our local club who got them and has been very impressed. Stuff like this. The other thing I wouldn't mind, but it's still very expensive, Infinity, they also make a circle cutter, but you can go really tiny. And again, I know our club president at the time, Jerry, bought one of those. And they're very cool. So yeah, that sort of thing. That's the kind of thing I go to the shows for. See if I can pick up. So there we go. Okay, we're almost done. We're just going to quickly talk about what's on the bench. Well, my Battlestar Pegasus is still on the bench. I haven't done much. I've got the sublight drives done. The FTL drive is done. I've just started working on the main hull. I confess there hasn't been a lot of building the last 2 weeks. How about you, my friend?
Well, you know what? I had to come to the sad realization I'm not going to finish my Malaysian infantry fighting vehicle for Heritage Con, which I was hoping to, but there's just too much.
Billions of people are going to be very disappointed. There will be tears.
I'm disappointed, but I will have a couple. I had my sniper custom finished, and I have another Rickdom that I finished this year, and I'll be taking those ones. So I'm happy to show those.
That'll be awesome.
But I'm just busy getting all my stock ready for FlexiFile. So there's only so much time in the day.
Exactly.
I get that stuff ready.
Perfect.
But it's coming along.
Awesome.
It's coming along.
Very cool. Okay, sites and tips. Eric from the Scale Modelers Association of Saskatoon, that's in Canada for all you geographically challenged. He reached out to me, said they are really enjoying the podcast there. I wanted to give a shout out to them because they have the most amazing magazine they produce every month, newsletter. Like whoever's doing this obviously knows what they're doing. It's pretty cool. So they have a newsletter that comes out, and it's like professional.
I had a look at it.
It's called Spare Parts. You can actually download it. A month or two after the members in Saskatoon have a chance to enjoy it, and it's very impressive. Like it's something you'd see in a regular magazine. The other thing I think is kind of neat, a lot of work, is they actually have a full description of what was on the tables with the builders and everything. So again, they've got a lot of people working hard during the meetings. So again, some amazing stuff. So it's well worth checking. We have the link there. Look back through the back issues. It's very, 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 very cool. Oh, it looks like someone also there had the 1/200th. Was it the 1/200th Lexington? No, the 1/700. I thought it said 1/200. Sorry. I was thinking it was one of the monster ones. Oh, no, 1/2000, even smaller. But yeah, kind of cool. They have a full description. They have a convention every year called BridgeCon. They have their own show, again. So, yeah, definitely check that out. They're at smasonline.net. And again, as always, we have a link to the on the show notes. We talked about the Infinity tapes. I know, Anthony, you've just been putting up links there. And then we also put a link up to The Wandering Earth, the film trailer. This is the sci-fi movie out of China that some big budget's been put into. So definitely check those out. And as normal, you can find those in the show notes on the episode or on the post for this episode at scalemodelpodcast.com. So to finish up, don't forget, subscribe. Let us know if you have any comments or suggestions. Like and subscribe to the Facebook page at facebook.com/scalemodelpodcast. We've also got our own page, scalemodelpodcast.com. Email, all the usual stuff, scalemodelpodcast@gmail.com. You can find the podcast wherever fine quality podcasts are found, including iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. We also have a Patreon channel. We might put some of the exclusive videos from Hamilton up for the Patreon supporters first. I will let people know about that. But as I said, we will be going to Hamilton to Heritage Con next Sunday, which is March 23rd, I believe.
24th.
March
24th.
Yes. The Sunday.
Yes.
So look for us there. If you see us there, feel free. Reach out, say hi. We'd love to meet our listeners and talk model kit news and all that. So,
absolutely.
Is there any last word from you, sir?
Oh, happy modeling and enjoy your week.
All right. So for the Scale Model Podcast, my name is Stuart Clark.
And this is Anthony Goodman.
Thank you and be well.